Hello, and happy new year. I am so excited to be back for the new year with you all. And I wanted to kick off this new year with some of the biggest lessons that I learned from 2024 and things that I truly feel like made the biggest difference for me that really have gotten me to where I am today. In my reflections these last few weeks, I've realized just how much I have grown and changed in this last year. More than any other year in 2024, I feel like I became unrecognizable from who I used to be. I don't even really know how to comprehend who I was before now, because who I am today feels more like me than ever. And I feel how that has transpired and transcended into my life as a wife and a mom and a homemaker. And I really hope today's video encourages you, inspires you to get out of your own way and to start now. It's so crazy to me to think about the things that I am taking on now, the things I am pursuing now, when a year ago, I couldn't even imagine I'd be here. All that strength, all that courage, all the joy that I feel today was because of the decisions and the actions that I took yesterday, last month, months ago, last year, last New Year's. So it's never too late to change your life. And I really believe that these simple shifts, these simple things will change your life as a mom, as a homemaker. I feel like as women, I don't know about you, but I know for myself that I have struggled intensely with feeling overwhelmed and overburdened as a wife and a mom, especially when I decided to commit to being a stay-at-home mother, committing to homeschooling my kids, committing to living a more sustainable lifestyle. I quickly learned that I cannot do it all. I quickly learned that I am not a superhuman being. I am just a human, just like everybody else. And like everybody else, I have to be willing to use my own discernment of learning where it is I need to let go. When I take something on, that simultaneously means that something else has to leave its place, that something else has to go, because you're so hungry. There's so much you want to do. You're so motivated. You're so passionate, right? I feel like that is me. Hopefully, you can resonate with this, because I feel that way. I don't have a problem with being lazy. I don't struggle with motivation. I struggle with relinquishing control. I struggle with letting go, with saying no, with delegating. And that has only gotten me into trouble when it comes to motherhood, because my kids, nothing that has consumed me more than being a mother. And it's a gift and a blessing, and I wouldn't choose to do anything else. But it's something that I have struggled so intensely with because of my own inability to recognize where it is that I'm needing to make change, because of my own fear, being afraid that if I let something go, something else won't fill its place. If I let things go, if I let go of control, what does that mean of me, about me? What does that mean of my character? Will I be provided for? Will I be enough? If you think about filling up your plate for dinner or for anything, you put all these things on your plate. The more you put on your plate, the more unstable that plate becomes. The more unable to even see what's on your plate, because you just keep piling more and more and more, to the point where things are starting to fall off. No matter how strong you are with holding up that plate, you can never hold it all. And even when you go to try and tackle it all, you can't even eat enough of it fast enough for you to ever get to the bottom. So before we keep piling on our plates this year, I really hope that you take the time to assess your plate, to look at what it is that you can let go of. Because I promise you, a year from now, you're going to be thanking yourself. A year from now, you're going to be blown away by everything that you accomplished and how much more simple and easy and joy filled it felt along the way because you weren't so overburdened, because you used your own discernment. You were your own advocate. You stepped in and you became the leader that God has called you to be in your life, for you to love yourself as you would your children by having your own back and by making things simpler for yourself. So, the first thing that I did that I feel like made the biggest difference in my life was decluttering my home. Now, I've talked about this a lot on my channel. I've talked so much about how it is such a huge focus of mine that I bring things intentionally into my home. It doesn't mean that I don't decorate or that I would even call myself a minimalist, but it means that I know what's in my home and everything that's in it has a function and a purpose. That I don't have things that are hidden away, out of sight, out of mind. The inventory of my home is at a manageable capacity and I know what's in it. And when I realize that there's certain things that I'm not using or have lost their function and their purpose in my home, that I donate them, I get rid of them. Now, this has been a journey that I have been on since leading up to 2024. I would say that I really went all in on decluttering the fall of 2023. I was coming to terms that I was taking on too much, I was managing too much, and that something had to give. One of my biggest coping mechanisms that I have always struggled with throughout my life, or I've had throughout my life, was spending, consuming, buying things that I thought would bring me joy, that I thought would fill a void within myself. But the truth is that it never worked because the things that I was really needing were only things that I could give myself. I realized that one of the biggest things that I struggled with was feeling overwhelmed by the stuff in my home. Because as a wife and a mom and a homemaker, you are the manager of your home. You do the inventory. You do the intaking of everything in your house. When someone is looking for something, who do they come to? They come to you. When someone needs something, who do they come to? They come to you. The flow and feel of your home is entirely up to you and how you manage it. And I realized that I wasn't really managing my home. I was filling my home. And I wasn't doing it with intention. I wasn't focused on how I wanted to feel. I just was focusing on the things and I wasn't focusing on the outcome and the purpose. That was one of the biggest shifts for me. It's not about quantity. It's about quality. It's about what value is this bringing to my life. And beyond that, another huge conviction on my heart is just sustainability. I want to teach my boys that we do not waste. We take care of our planet by doing our best of living as sustainably as possible, by not wasting products, by not wasting things. We're buying toys that we do not need. It's not that you don't buy what you need. It's that you get rid of everything that you don't and you become more mindful of what it is that you really do need. And before you buy something brand new, you take the time and the effort to look for it secondhand. You take the time to make sure that you are getting the best thing for you and your family. The second thing that will change your life as a mom and a homemaker is prioritizing your health. Now, I can speak from firsthand experience just how vital this is to your happiness and to your fulfillment as a mother, as a wife, is your health. If you aren't getting what you're needing, if you're running on empty, then there's no way that you're going to be able to exude the patience and compassion and the love that God has called you to do, that you want to give. This last year, I firsthand experienced what it was like to hit rock bottom with my health, because I realized I was doing all the things, all the right things that I thought I should be doing. I was exercising. I thought I was eating pretty clean. I was taking my medicine for my hypothyroidism. I was taking supplements. All of these things that we're told that we need to do in order to be happy, in order to feel productive and successful throughout our days as moms and homemakers, as women. But no matter what I did, I kept chasing my tail. I never, ever felt better. I never felt vital. I never felt like I had more energy, because the truth is that I was just slapping a Band-Aid on the deeper issue. Taking medicine and all of these things weren't getting to the root cause of what was going on with my thyroid, of what was going on with my hormones, and everything was affecting the other, which led me on a journey. And so finally I got to a point where I was fed up and I started asking harder questions. I started asking deeper questions. I started going to my chiropractor and focusing on functional nutrition. And I started advocating for myself of, hey, I've been on this for 10 years now. I did not let go of the fact that I knew in my heart that I wasn't meant to feel this way. I knew that I was doing my best, and I still was tired. I still was irritable. I still was not feeling good. And it was affecting everything. It was seeping into everything, because how you feel and your health affects how you show up. And now, 6 months later, especially in this last month, after asking all those questions of getting the ball rolling, I finally feel like I have never felt better. I finally feel like I'm getting to the root of my thyroid. I'm healing my thyroid. I'm healing my gut. I'm giving myself a strong foundation to actually get the full nutrients of the food that I'm consuming, to get the full benefits of all those positive, wonderful things that I was already doing now are actually being fruitful, because I have the strong bedrock within myself, within my health, within my immune system to actually build off of it. When I exercise now, I actually feel more energetic, because I'm not just depleting myself further. When I take my time in the morning to read my Bible and to do my morning routine, I actually feel motivated and hopeful that I can pursue this. I can be this woman that I crave and that God has called me to be, because my tank is full. I know how to fill my own tank now. I know how to properly take care of myself. And that was just something I did not know at the beginning of 2024. I think that is so important to emphasize, that we are never stop learning, that as we age and as we grow, society is always changing, food is always changing, culture is always changing. The fact is that I just simply trusted. The last decade, I just put a blind eye. I did not ask questions about why I suddenly became hypothyroid. I didn't ask questions of why my medicine just keeps going up and up and up. I didn't really ever stop and say, hey, why do I feel this way? Where did this come from? I didn't advocate for myself. And so that is my second tip to you. My call to action is to prioritize your health. Start somewhere. Send the email. Make the phone call. Book the appointment. Phone a friend. Ask the harder questions, because they will lead you to answers. The third thing that I know will change your life is starting the hobby. There are so many things that I have learned in this last year that if I didn't just take the time to start, then I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't be pursuing the things that I'm pursuing now if I didn't start pursuing those things back then. If I didn't start building my confidence by learning how to do sourdough, or learning how to make my own bone broth and yogurt, even learning how to can my own food, making homemade sauce, preserving food, all of these things are literally skills that I have learned in the last year or two. Things that started with a seed of, oh, I would really love to do that. I would love to make my own bread. I would love to learn how to do sourdough. I would love to feel more sustainable and to preserve our own food and live off the land more. and get the full benefits of food and save money and all of these things. I'm sure there's something on your heart right now that you would love to do. And you just keep telling yourself that you don't have time, or you don't have the money to get the equipment and do the thing, or you just simply don't know where to begin. But I urge you, and I am calling you out, because all it starts with is a quick Google search. Put it in Google exactly what you want to do. You could find out today literally the steps of how to make a sourdough starter and start making it right now. You have all the ingredients in your kitchen, I guarantee, to start making your own sourdough starter. You know what I mean? Whatever it is that you are seeking, whatever skill you are looking to acquire, you have everything you need to pursue it. You have everything you need in order to learn it. We are surrounded by information. We literally have it at our fingertips. All we have to do is have a little intention. And it doesn't take a lot of time. It doesn't mean that it has to consume your life. But just like I said in the beginning, you just need to plant the seed. You need to get the ball rolling. And as you get the ball rolling, you're going to build the momentum. You're going to start building the confidence. You know, you might have a few floppy loaves, or you might have a few failed batches, or projects that didn't turn out that great in the beginning, or whatever. But by pursuing those things on your heart that you are craving, being your own advocate, being the leader of your own happiness, you're going to build more trust in yourself. You're going to build more confidence to pursue even bigger things. It's going to lead you to new passions, like finding a raw milk source, or getting chickens and starting a homestead, or things like that. Future you is going to thank you by getting started right now. The fourth thing that will change your life this year is having the hard conversations. I feel like there's so much I had to say on this topic, but I'll leave it at this. There was so much hurt and so much fear and so much shame that I was carrying around regarding so many relationships in my life, within my family, within my marriage, that were literally seeping poison into everything. It was literally seeping poison into how I showed up in my marriage, how I felt within my family, how I felt as a mother, how I felt as a wife, how I felt as simply a woman. I realized that there was so much that was holding me back. You'll see this in your finances. You'll see this again. This ties back into our health. This ties back into just our confidence and our ability to really feel fulfilled in our lives. You need to be willing to have those hard conversations. You need to be willing to speak that shame out loud, to speak how you're really feeling, to address the hurt that you feel, whether it's with a counselor or a therapist, or with the person directly who it pertains, or even just, with your husband. One of my biggest things that I'll share with you that I have struggled with is my finances. I've always struggled when it comes to my mindset around money and my ability to really trust and lean on men and my partner financially. I literally have never not had my own income. And it was to a point where I was almost like it was a toxic fear of mine that I could not have my own money. And beyond that, I was not forthcoming about my money. I wasn't comfortable having conversations about my bank accounts, my debts, even like my ambitions with my money. All that did was create a barrier between my husband and I. All that did was create tension and pain. The truth is that the only way I was going to build faith and trust with money and with my partner was to have the hard conversation, was to put out there my vision, my hope for us as a couple, as a family, financially, and to be forthcoming about where I was financially and what I was needing, that we were able to get on the same page. My husband is my absolute number one supporter in life. And I could not have said that a year ago because I was not honest with him a year ago. One of the leading causes of divorce in married couples, has to do with finances. It was, like I said, it was such a shameful topic for me. And I realized that there was nothing for me to be ashamed of. It was just a story that I had created, a narrative that I had created throughout my life because of my upbringing, because of things that were out of my control, but also it was my interpretation. And the thing that we don't know when we're younger, we really don't know until we know, is that we don't have to hold on to stories that don't serve us. We don't have to hold on to things. We get to release and let go and forgive and to move on. But we have to first give ourselves that permission, that we forgive ourselves. We know that we're enough and that we love ourselves despite everything, and that we put ourselves first again, that we deserve to be forgiven, that we deserve better, and that will lead you to better. The last thing that I am going to leave you with that I know will change your life is to lighten your load. Remember the plate. Remember how it felt to be overburdened and overwhelmed, like you were carrying too much. Remember what that felt like, and remember what it feels like, and start to notice what it feels like as you let things go. The only way you will ever know how good it can feel is if you start letting things go. The practice of surrendering has been one of the most challenging things I've ever done in my life. The more that I surrender my troubles, my fears, my passions, my goals to God, the more I see how He has always shown up for me. I like to think that it was because of me and my control, my need to have my hand in every little aspect of every little thing. But the truth is that all that ever did was lead me to pain and burnout and suffering. And it was only when He forced me to surrender or let go of something that I realized that He was making space for something better. He was making space for something new. Save yourself the pain and the struggle and the suffering, and just start letting go. Think about your life. Think about your family. Think about how you really want to feel in your day in, day out. What is really most valuable and precious to you? What are your convictions? I didn't want to go back to nursing. I wanted to be home. If I had a choice, no matter what, I would choose home. And when I got clear on that, when I got clear that even if I could send my kids to school, I want to homeschool. I want them to have this experience. I know it's going to be hard and challenging, and it's going to require sacrifice and growth on my end. But God put this conviction on my heart, and it's something that I want to see it through. I want a happy marriage. I don't want to struggle and fight and argue with my husband. I don't want to live in a state of tension. I want to feel truly loved and truly safe and truly accepted, no matter what it is that we are going through. When I got clear on all of those things, when I became honest with myself, when I became honest with others, when I started putting my faith in God, that made things so very clear of where it is that I was ready to let things go, of things that no longer were serving me. By showing you what it is that you desire, He's also showing you exactly what it is that needs to be released, that you don't have space for. That's okay. It's not weakness to let go. It's actually one of the biggest tells of a person that is wise and strong and resilient. And that's a muscle that we can only build by doing it over and over and over. So my loves, I am so excited to be back with you. I'm so excited to continue on into 2025, building the life that we love, building the family, the home, the life that we love. I hope that if you are still here, that you got something. I hope that this video inspired you. I hope that it encourages you. I hope that it puts a fire in you to get up and get started. And I hope that when you look back a year from now, that you are blown away with your own transformation, that you are blown away with your own magnificence and strength and resiliency, because you are amazing, you are enough, and you are so very loved. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button and hit that like button and leave me a comment letting me know what are some goals that you have for 2025. What is something that you are going to get started with right now? And until next time.